Good morning, everybody. This is Vince with Listings to Leads. Hope you're well. Let me know if you can hear me okay and you can see my screen. And we'll get started here in just a minute. It's top of the hour, so people are logging in. And if you're new to this, is our call for top tools for more listings. So we're gonna focus on how to get listings with Listings to Leads. But if you're new to us, let me know how long you've been with us, okay? And also let me know if you've gotten listings with us before. It's an exciting time here, so I'm glad you're with us. If it's your first call with us, also let me know that. I'm trying to get a gauge of how much everybody understands here. So let's kind of get the show on the road. So Listings to Leads, we've been here 17 years. We are a real estate advertising platform designed for real estate agents, for brokers and teams, and also for loan officers and for title professionals as well. And we do a lot here, right? We have literally hundreds of tools to help you capture leads. Some of them are buyer leads. Some of them are listing leads. Some are from print. Some are from email. Some are from free social media posts. And some are from paid ads. And I will say, all those kinds of areas or channels that we're talking about, there's different lead quality, okay? So when you're trying to get more listings, lead quality is a big deal. I'm going to show you some easy ways to get listing leads today. And I'm going to show you, maybe some more complicated ways. But there will be a different discussion of lead quality. So before we dive into the platform, again, if you're new to us, if you're new to Listings to Leads, let me know in the comments panel. But let's talk about what's on the homepage here, because getting listings, there's 4 things that I think you got to concentrate on. And I actually say this about a lot of the system, because I think if everybody has listings, you're going to have some good business, right? So these are the top 4 things that are super related to getting listings. Our expired marketing, okay? Our open house marketing, our listing presentation, and our Facebook ads. And I think for any new client, you need to understand those 4 parts of our platform and understand how to utilize them. Now, these 3 videos that we're looking at on our homepage are all generating a lot of listings from expired marketing, okay? The gentleman on the top right, he's got a really awesome phone call. He waits 3 months after a home expires, gives them a call, would just like to introduce himself and meet them. And then he wants to hand them, he's asking for a meeting, just a handshake at the door, but he hands them this that I'm holding in my hand. It's our expired marketing listing presentation. We have these available for you, and they are, you can buy them in groups of 10, and it is our whole listing presentation. So I mentioned that expired marketing is a big deal in the listing presentation. We'll have a look online at the online version, okay? This gentleman here, Scott Murray, he's been in the industry for 20 years. He's with EXP now. He's really comfortable on door, and he likes to door knock. And yeah, he has this right in his hand as well, right? He's got also a little trash sheet. These calls are on our YouTube channel. I'll show you where those are. And this young lady is great because these are all 3 recorded in November, these 3 videos, okay? We're in early March. And this young lady at that point is about 3 years out of high school. And in a way, doesn't know any better. So she calls expireds day 1. She sees them in her MLS. She calls them that day. And you probably know that those poor homeowners are getting called by dozens, if not hundreds of agents. And she's one of those. She calls and leaves 2 voicemails. They don't respond. She texts them once, said, would you like to see my listing presentation? Still no response. And then she creates a custom listing presentation and texts it to them. She has 4 listings in 6 weeks. And that was in November. And I'm hoping that we're going to kind of reach out to her in April and get a checkup. My guess is she's somewhere going to land between 15 and 20 listings, which would put you at a very successful realtor, right? So I don't know where you are in the United States. Oh, Nicole's brand new. Welcome. And Kaylee, you are brand new. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You may have heard a term, listings to last. This is kind of a little whatever aphorism in the real estate space. And if you have listings, you really control your business. And so that's why it's important to be on this call to learn how can we get more listings and listings leads. So these three people are great examples. If we scroll down, you'll see that we have open house, we have ad software, right, for Facebook and for Google. This gentleman here is telling you how he runs an ad on a sold property in Facebook, gets a $4 lead, it turns into a $400,000 listing and a $450,000 purchase right after. And then this lady here, she's down in Florida. Great story. She has only been a realtor for licensed for a year, operating for a month. Meets somebody in her neighborhood who wants to sell, finds us on the internet, and I get on the phone with her that day, and she says, I have a listing presentation coming up. I said, great, let's create a custom one, and you take it out. And so on the very next day, she has an appointment. If you listen to that call, you will tell that by the end of the call, by the end of the presentation, they ask, where do we sign? And that's awesome, right? To have people, not even negotiating commission, nothing. Where do we sign? Right? So that's all inside listings to leads. And just to be repeating myself, there are 4 things you need to be thinking about when it comes to getting listings with us. Working expires, working open houses, using our listing presentation whenever you can, and also running ads on Facebook. And let's start with the Facebook one, because over here you can run ads on PDF guides, you can run them on landing pages, you can run them on an open house, on something just listed. But if you want listing leads, you definitely want to run an ad on a home that is sold. And you can see that I have a sold home right here. So if I click market listing, well, it will give us all these things. That this is our listing automation, but I want to focus on the Facebook ad right now. So let's see what happens when we do that. So we click on Facebook and Instagram, and let's look at this. It kind of writes everything. So you see this wheel spinning. We have the Facebook software kind of embedded here. And so right here, it says this home is sold. That affects your home value. Click here. That's it. You can literally click create ad and you would get seller leads. And this gentleman right here on our homepage did exactly that. So if you watch this video, you will tell that this video is actually what he does for his agents. He has a team account with us. And he just wanted to show his agents, hey, if you run sold ads, you're going to get seller leads. I actually asked him, because he posted that video in our mastermind group a while ago. And I asked him, what did you do? Did you customize anything? He said, no, I clicked that button and I clicked that button. And I got a $4 lead, and that turned into a listing presentation by 4 in the afternoon. Okay. So that's number one. But I'm showing you this because it's the easiest. Okay. And also because it's so fast, right? You go in, you get a sold listing, you put it in here, bang, bang. You're going to get seller leads within hours with name, email, and phone number. But here's the thing. I don't know how long you guys have been in real estate and how long you've been converting leads, but converting a lead is not easy. You would think, I got to call them, right? That might be a mistake. You actually want to text them a few times. We actually have our own text follow-up under the leads tab here, which is converting 14% of our leads to phone calls. And so getting leads, we're really good at that. That's why we've been doing this for 17 years or something. But converting leads is a whole nother can of worms. So I'm showing this because you're going to easily get name, email, and phone number, and you need to get on our calls and talk about the tools that you can use to get those people into a conversation, and then from the conversation into a transaction, right? So I see some people signing up here. Nicole's new from Connecticut. Right on. Hopefully it's not too cold up there. Pat O'Connell, I think we spoke recently. So I do want to say one thing, since some of you are new. And first, let me know, can you hear me? Oh, hi, Tamara. How are you? Make sure you can hear me, because sometimes just the bandwidth gets to be a problem. We relaunched Listings to Leads. So let's time out. We relaunched Listings to Leads a week ago. We've been building it for 3 years in parallel. And our new clients, our super new clients, are in a new interface. And if any of you, like Nicole or Kalia, are on this call, and you're in the new platform, reach out to me at Vince@Listings to Leads. Let me give that to everybody right now. Because then I can walk you through the new system, right? So this is my email. You're welcome to book a call with me. And also, if you need a team account, if you're thinking of recruiting, you got a brokerage you want to get involved in, you reach out to me. It's at Listings to Leads. So that was first. Easy, right? We need to know that. We know that if we want more listings, we should be running sold ads. But then again, we got to deal with converting those leads. So let's say that you have leads, seller leads somewhere. Maybe they're in your CRM, right? Maybe they're in your email, right? Who knows where they are? You need to get over here to this listings page, click on listing presentation, and start to get familiar with our listing presentation. Now, we make it available to you in print format. Like, you can download it from that page right there, print, right? But we also make it available in a flip book, kind of an online magazine look. And I showed this to you a little bit earlier, but you can actually order these from us via Mailbox Power. And this is a really nice high quality look. But this one here is talking about how we sell your expired home, right? So this is specifically if you're reaching out to expired, you want that. But you do have this one sitting in your account just automatically. And this doesn't talk about expired, it's just how we sell your home, right? And if you do this, this is our listing presentation, right? It says, hey, we do paid ads, we do social media marketing, we create a YouTube video for you, we have print tools, we have nearby tools for the neighbors, email marketing, tools for you, and also short form video scripts. And we create virtual tours and single property websites, right? If you're new to us, this is what Listings to Leads does automatically for every one of your listings. What this is doing is giving you a way to easily convey, this is what I do when I sell a home now, right? And it goes through these pages. This is all automatically built. When you sign up, you put in your headshot, you put in your contact info, your logo, and your colors, so that this thing is all branded to you, okay? So, oh, hello, Denise from Florida as well. So this is sitting in the listings page on listing presentation. But if we come here, you're going to notice that I have a listing that's canceled, expired, even a FSBO, and a listing presentation. And you can create custom, unique listing presentations. I have one for an expired right here. And they all have one thing in common. They now have custom, unique listing presentations with the homeowner's name and address on the cover and a photograph of their home built throughout. Okay, so let's look at it. We just looked at the generic one that's sitting in everybody's account right now. But this one I created for a single homeowner, right? And so when we look at the cover, you can see it's prepared for Jane Doe on Main Street. And that's a picture of her home right there. And as I go through this listing presentation, well, now she can see what her home's going to look like on paid ads and on social media and on YouTube and so on and so forth. Here's to know about this page. If you go through this effort to create a custom listing presentation, and you're sitting at a kitchen table with somebody, stop on this page right here where it says mobile marketing and say, hey, while we're chatting, why don't you scan that QR code right there? And they're going to click that. They're going to scan that with their phone, and their home is going to pop up on their phone. And for a lot of our clients, they tell them at this point, it's done. They're ready to go. They're ready to sign. But if you go look at our homepage, this lady right here says, By the time I got to the end of that listing presentation with their home built in, they asked me, where do I sign? Okay. And you can see this is very compelling. It's custom for one home, one homeowner, and it's all about let's get your home sold, right? So when I said at the beginning of the call, you need to think about Facebook ads, you need to think about our listing presentation, and you need to think about expireds. This is kind of what I'm talking about. I'm hoping it's becoming clear, right? Now there's one, if we go back to listing, it's open house marketing that has been a huge way of getting more listings. Now there's a lot to open house marketing, but I'm going to show you the one thing. I'm going to show you a couple tools here, but I'm going to show you the one that is why open houses are so important to get listings. And with all the cool technology we have and all the Facebook software that we have and all everything, it's kind of ironic that the number one tool for getting high quality listing leads is a piece of paper. Okay. So there's 3 versions of the same piece of paper. But when you have an open house, you want to print out this nearby homeowner letter, and you want to print it out like 50 or 100 times. It is branded to you. It's got your logo, but it's going to have the open house there. And so if you're door knocking 50 or 100 of these in the neighborhood, obviously give yourself time to do that. They can go check it out. They can scan that and go there, go find out about the open house. But it also says that's going to affect your home value. And if you want your free home value, go here to this page, which we automatically generated for you. It's sitting in your account already. So people can get their home value by giving you their address and email address. And maybe you're trying to farm an area. You want to hold open houses in that area. But when you're door knocking and you're taking it, they may not answer the door, right? Get a little plastic bag and leave it on the doorknob. The goal here is for you to meet homeowners, right? And I want to kind of emphasize that, because when we talk about running an ad, or we talk about let's do an email blast, or let's go out and capture some leads one way or another, there's way more ways of capturing seller leads. I'm not going to dive into that right now. I'm just going to point out that there's a lot more ways of capturing seller leads, but then you have to convert them, right? And really, before you actually convert anybody into like signing a document and getting ready to buy or sell a home with you, you're going to have a conversation with them. It might be on the phone, it might be in person, right? But you're going to have conversation. And so how good are you at capturing a lead with a name and email, or even a name, email, and phone number, and getting that lead on the phone, right? I think you got to be real honest about that, because when we talk about open houses, we're talking about you meeting people. Now, I've got other tools that are going to make people really want to pay attention to you, right? But we're talking about you meeting people. When we're talking about listing presentations and you door knocking or calling people and saying, can I meet you and give this to you? We're talking about you meeting people. If you don't know this, when you're converting online leads, just any online lead in the real estate space, the conversion rate is like 1 to 5%. Some of our teams convert it actually a little bit higher, right? But 1 to 5, if it's 1%, that's 1 out of 100 leads. Okay. When you look at our website and you look at these people here, up here, generating, has 4 listings in 6 weeks. This gentleman adds 2.7 million in 3 days of door knocking to his listing pipeline. And this guy's just like 2.2 million in 2 weeks. You want to meet more people if you want more business. I think you already know that, right? It's like common sense. So anyway, we'll dive more into the details. Let's talk about where you can kind of learn more about this, because this will be kind of a high level call here. If you log into your account and you go to marketing calendar, you will see this cool calendar over here. But actually, I want you to click on this tab up here that says resources. And resources gets you to our YouTube channel. It gets you to our Instagram channel. It gets you to live webinars, and it gets you to our Facebook page. Okay. our Facebook mastermind. So this is our live training call. Okay, it's right, our live training tab. And actually, this week, if you're thinking, I'm sending it to everybody on the call right now. If you're watching this in a recording, this can be found at leadgenwebinars.com. Okay. And if you scroll down here this week, this is going to be an awesome week if you're trying to get listings, because here's why. Right now, we're talking about top tools for more listings. This afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific, Scott's going to be talking about expired. So this is a workshop to help our clients unpack and understand how to work expireds. Okay. On Tuesday, he's got another one, how to turn open houses into listings. So you're going to learn, like I'm telling you, hey, one of the top ways of getting more listings is open houses. Scott is going to go into detail on Tuesday, tomorrow, about that. And then Wednesday morning, he'll be talking about expireds again. And then Wednesday afternoon, he's got an in-depth 1-hour call about expireds. And then that evening again, expired. So tomorrow, or Wednesday rather, is all about expireds. And you know what? If you're in the southern states, and you know in your markets if expireds are a deal, because I know like somebody's here from Connecticut, and Connecticut isn't maybe many expireds, but I see people here from Florida, and you know expireds are just coming all over the place, right? Now Thursday, lead conversion with using PDFs, so that'll be a good call. And then this is also Friday, just sold marketing. What do you think just sold marketing does here, guys? It gets you listing leads. And that's a real thorough way of using your listings to get more listings. And that, we've been doing this for years. The expired story is a new one with, COVID driving up prices all over the country in super fast way, and then being followed with high interest rates. There's a lot of expirations happening in the market. So get on our live calls. You have a link to this to learn about that. Now, if your calendar doesn't work with ours, fortunately, just like this call, we record every call, right? So this is our YouTube channel, and I want to point it out. And since it's like dragging, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. This is the videos page. And so almost all of our videos are here. I'm going to send it to you right now. You can find listings to leads on YouTube. Scott and I do training calls, 5 days a week. We always have new clients, so we want to talk about, we're trying to help everybody unpack what's going on here. Right here at the top, get more listings with our listing presentation, right? So Scott's going to tell you how to get that out there, how to market a pending home. Pending home is going to get you seller leads as well. Facebook ads, you can get buyers and seller leads. Where expired, here's an in-depth expired listing call right there. Now I'm going to drag us down 3 months ago. It might be 4 months now. Because you remember those people I was talking about on the homepage, the three people, there's actually 4, but 3 of them are working expired. So if we go back a few months, I want to point out where these calls are, because those 3 people are having terrific success. And there are a lot of agents who are having success working expireds, but these 3 people are all doing it differently. This gentleman here, Scott Murray, he's been in it for 20 years. He's real comfortable door knocking. If you're comfortable door knocking, watch that call. It's not even 6 minutes long. Okay. If you're new to the industry and you're kind of nervous about getting listings, watch this 5-minute call, 4-minute call. This is the lady who, in one day of signing up with us, takes our listing presentation and closes this. And this is not like a huge seasoned realtor. This is a woman who has not at that point been a practicing realtor for not even 2 months. Okay. And here's JJ, who's on our homepage as well. She has leaves a couple voicemails. She texts them one time, and then she texts them the custom listing presentation that I was showing you. She has 4 listings in 6 weeks. And here is John Summers here. And he's just been crushing it. He's in one of our large broker clients up in Lake Norman. And they have 300 agents, and he's as all on his own, gets on these classes, starts to learn what's going on. Now he's just got a bunch of listings. He's just turning into a rising star over there. It's actually really a good call. It's 12 minutes long, but he tells you the voicemail that he leaves. And I think that's something that most of you are going to want to do. If you don't want to door knock, you're going to have to call them. He's got a really great, unassuming approach. It's getting people to call him back. And he says, I'd just like to meet you and give you something. This, right? That's it. And they look at it, just glancing, turns into an hour-long, come in our house, let's talk, right? That's a real simplified way of thinking about it. But I think you should watch these calls. You're going to get expired. And you know that we have a live training going on this week. So definitely get in there. Now, there's one more resource in Facebook. If you're a new client of ours, you can actually get there by clicking that green button that says join group. Okay. We're on marketing calendar, resources, join Facebook mastermind, which is this. And why is everything like re-looping here? This is a private group on Facebook. Scott and I talk here. It's where our clients talk here as well. They ask questions. And it's also, we always have new technology. So you should literally be scanning this at least 15 minutes a week. Looks like I've got something wrong here on my internet. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me all right? Because things feel like they're going really slow over here. Let me know if you can in the comments panel, if you can hear me all right. So anyway, those are the resources to help you understand what's going on. Let's look at a couple of the other things that you can think about. Okay, when it comes to getting listings with listing leads. You all have landing pages. When you sign up, you have landing pages. It's a bit choppy. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna change this. Give me a second. Let me change this. Tamara, that's John Summers. He's on our YouTube channel. It's the same guy on our homepage. Okay, I've taken out my photograph. Let me see if I can turn off my camera. Give me a second. I just want to see if I can turn off my camera here. Because that like chews up the, right here. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Please tell me. Just give me one more yes, I can see you. You don't need to see my picture. I turned off the camera, and that should make the audio a little bit better. Yes, okay. Thanks, Tamara. Okay, thank you guys, thank you. Okay, so in the landing page section, you have a lot of landing pages that we auto-generate for you, right? We got an iBuyer landing page, right? But you also get this free home value one, and everybody should look at this. You should click the pencil here and ask yourself, does this, oh, good, thanks, Denise. Yeah, I don't need my picture on there. It just chews up the bandwidth. So this is an instant home value page. And, you are in different parts of the country. So let's give it a second. If this picture in the background does not look like your area, change it. Right over here, it says background, and you can upload a photograph. Okay. And, if you're in Arizona, that doesn't look like Arizona. Does that look like Florida? Does that look like Maine? It doesn't look like Seattle. It doesn't look like any of those. And you guys all live in different areas. So take the time and get up here and save. And at that point, well, then you can start marketing. So right here, and remember, I told you the top ways of getting more listings. There are other ways of getting more listings. For instance, you can take this landing page and you can go out and you can run an ad on Facebook. You can run an ad on Google. We auto post it automatically on your social media accounts when you sign up, right? You can even say, hey, you know what? I want to get postcards or door hangers and hang them or mail them to my neighborhoods where I want more listings, right? Because automatically on this thing, there's a QR code and there's a web address, so people can go for free and get their home value, like right there. So, you kind of want to think of listings to leads. I think, especially when it comes to farming, that you can do it digitally. We give you online tools. We give you tools that you can use for free social media content. You can use paid ads, or you can use print or even email. This is a door hanger. That big black thing should have a hole for the doorknob. And, scan here, go here to go get your free home value. That's what this is. So there's lots of ways of getting seller leads, right? And actually, this is not a bad way, because if you hang a doorknob, if you hang, a door hanger on somebody's home and they scan that, probably means they own that home, right? So not many people are going to do that. But if they do, it's somebody who has a serious interest. Now, if you have a big CRM, you see the words eFlyer for your database, that means you can copy the HTML code here, and this whole flyer is created, all right? And that link are going to get you home value leads. This will get us to another page where there's a lot of lead capture here, and this has all your reviews, a lot of the lead capture. And here you can get your free home value. You can see my reviews. This is all a bunch of lead capture in one email, all driving to that free home value page, right? So lots of ways of getting things out there. But again, are you capturing leads or are you having conversations, right? And that's what you want to be thinking about. Because if you want more business, you need to have more conversations, all right? So there are other landing pages. Let's talk about a few, because there's actually a couple here. I think if I filter by type, not a lot of people like to work with FSBOs, but if they're in your market, they are a good resource to become your own listing. And that's because, a FSBO, basically, they want to save money. They don't want to pay a realtor. I get it, right? And they kind of think that a realtor doesn't do anything, right? That's the MO, just to get to that point. Because I think most of us know, especially you're all professionals, there's a lot of risk in buying and selling a home. And that's actually what a realtor does for you, is to help you. But when it comes to selling people's home, people feel like, no, I can do this just as good as any realtor, right? So I've got a landing page on how to sell your own home, right? And this is a FSBO landing page. So, it can drive people, capture leads. But the thing is after a homeowner deals with being a realtor for a couple of months, on average, they hand it to a realtor within 2 months. Okay. And this tool here, you could actually get in front of those homeowners. You could email it to them if you have their email, or you could even get a door hanger or a postcard and mail it to them to say, hey, if you'd like free tools for your home to market your home, just check the box. Would you like a virtual tour? Would you like social media? Great. Well, give us your contact information. And then when they click get free tools, we say, give us a photograph of your home, and we'll create all those tools right now. And boom, those are sitting inside your account over here in the listings page. And we email those tools to you, and you can send them back to the person. But what's happening here is, now that you have their address, you have a photograph of their home, guess what? Well, we've auto-generated one of those custom listing presentations. They're going to sit in your account until you decide to send it out. But at that point, you can send them the tool and say, hey, does this look right? What's happening? You're starting a conversation with this person. That's what's happening. All right. So FSBOs are really a great way. There's not a lot. There's actually, in some of your markets, there are way more expireds than are FSBOs. But I would not ignore this, right? I know it's kind of different. It's not like right down the middle of real estate, but it is an area where a lot of realtors, they look at it and they focus on it. We give you a lot of tools to help you do that. Like I said, you can have postcards and door hangers for FSBOs. You've got an e-flyer. So if you got a big CRM and you just want to blast this out and say, hey, if you're selling your home yourself, let me help you, right? We share these for free on your social media accounts, assuming that you've connected your social media accounts. I'm connected. I don't know why that's there. And you can run ads on Facebook and Google, right? I actually don't recommend running an ad on Facebook with this kind of thing because, you know, if there are 5,000 homes for sale in your market today in your MLS, 10% of those homes are not FSBOs, right? It's a much smaller percentage. You have way more expireds than FSBOs. So you're really using a shotgun on Facebook when you really need a rifle approach, and you really can't do that with Facebook. However, with Google, it's keyword driven. So that Google could be really, really useful for you. All right. So that's a little bit about landing pages. Let's talk about PDF guides. And because you kind of don't want to ignore PDF guides. And actually, you know, we have clients they get listings from running PDF ads on, but the lead quality is higher on Google. I really don't recommend running ads on Facebook to get buyers. I just, you know, don't. If you want buyers, run ads on Facebook. I'm sorry, I don't recommend running ads on Google for buyers, but for listings, they're more expensive leads than Facebook. Okay, but the Google leads are higher quality. So I don't know why we're here. I'm trying to get on PDF guides. So when you come to PDF guides, don't forget all your branding, your color, your logo, it's all here. Okay. And let me just ask one more time, because I see Denise is saying audio is better. Is the audio better now? Is this good? Because I'm just going to stop doing my video stuff here. So if that's the case. So you've got 80. They're all about 5 or 6 pages long. Half of them are for buyers and half are for sellers. So let's click over here on sellers. And just like we did on the landing pages, we can negotiate, or we can market these. Here's tired of, I was just talking to a realtor before I got on this call, and she's like, oh, I know a lot of realtors. She was in Arkansas. She goes, I know a lot of homeowners who are tired of being landlords. Great. We got a PDF guide to help you with that. Let's click market listing. And we've got 40 different topics for homeowners. So there's a lot of options for you to go out and advertise. And I would say this, like if you have any sort of CRM with more than 200 to 300 leads, and some of you have thousands of leads, you should get in the habit of clicking eFlyer for your database and copying this code and blasting your leads like once a week. This says, hey, would you like this report? Click here to download. Really easy. Okay. It's free, right? You could go run an ad on Facebook, and sometimes you get leads. I think running ads on Facebook, if you're marketing a listing, that tends to get leads cheaper, right? So I mentioned earlier, running a sold ad on Facebook, those leads cost about $7 each. Okay. So if you have a home and it's sold and you run an ad, if you're spending $50, divide 50 by 7, and you would expect 7 leads with name, email, and phone number. But this is not a listing, it's a PDF guide. And these leads often cost $10, $11, even $12 each. Okay. So the same $50 gets you fewer leads. But it's worth doing, because you might get the right buyer, the right homeowner at the right time that really needs an question answered. And there's lots of different topics. Downsizing. I don't know where you guys live, but you know what? Baby boomers, they're going to start downsizing. It's already beginning. I'm sure you've seen it in a lot of your markets. And there's a PDF guide to help them answer some questions, right? So you've got an email for that. You can run ads on Facebook and Google for that. We can automatically post it to your social media for you. And you got print tools as well, right? We need to get an older couple. That doesn't look like down. Are they old enough to downsize? All right. By the way, that reminds me, over on the landing page section, you can create landing pages, and I think for the newer clients, we're auto-generating them, so you don't have to go through this step to create them. But let's look here. We actually have a landing page for downsizing. I think we call it empty nester plus. That's what we call it. We should really just have one name. So let me show you this landing page. Once it's done going, it's designed for people who are thinking of, let's just go look at it. It'll become very clear what we're doing here. This offers an instant home value. Okay. And just like everything else, you can run an ad on Facebook. You can run an ad on Google. You could get a postcard or a door hanger, or you got email, right? Let's lock in some value, right, in our home and go downsize, right? That's what this is for. You can have this in your account. You got multiple ways of advertising, right? I want to go to the ads page because I was kind of getting into lead cost, and I want you all to kind of understand the lead cost story, especially when it comes to Facebook. There are three kind of ways to run ads to get on Facebook to get seller leads. On later stage homes, like sold, under contract, and pending, that's a listing ad. On a landing page, like the one we were just looking at, empty nesters, or home value landing page, right? You can create them for each one of your towns. And then you can create a PDF guide ad, right? Ad. So there are 40 PDF guides for homeowners, but I want to I was talking about this earlier, but I just want to have this view to talk about it so that we're all clear. You could create an ad with a $50 budget, or even a $100 budget, or even a $200 budget. It doesn't matter, but Facebook is going to decide your lead cost. They approve your ad within an hour or two, and then they say, okay, well, we're going to charge him $5 a lead, or $4 a lead, or $3 or $7, right? It's never exactly the same. But what I want you to understand is that usually the leads related to a listing, like just listed, open house, under contract, or sold, those leads are always cheaper than the PDF guide leads. PDF guide leads, whether they're for buyers or sellers, are always more expensive. And the landing pages, especially what is your home worth, are typically the most expensive seller leads from Facebook. We've seen those cost $15 on average, but even higher. Okay. So you can do all of those things right here. And I'm going to go on landing page, and you can create, and you absolutely should be creating landing pages for your favorite home markets, right? For your favorite farm markets, right? Lead ads means I get name, email, and phone number every time, and I create an ad. And this is definitely worth doing, right? I showed you at the beginning of the call that if you ran an ad on a home that's sold, your leads are going to be cheaper, okay, than this. But I'm going to just click here, and I want to dive into this. This is the easy stuff, but what I want to talk about now is a little more in depth. But hey, what the hell? You might be in a dense area, meaning there's a lot of people around you, okay? And you can see that my thing says, what is your Walnut Creek potential home price? I can say, what is your Walnut Creek home worth? Really? And you definitely want to do this, because I've seen people, what is your Walnut Creek home worth? You could even make this better, right? You could say, 30 homes sold last month, right? But Scott goes in depth on these Facebook calls, but I'm just giving you an idea. But I want to kind of point something out, because most agents don't even do this. They don't create a custom landing page for a neighborhood. What they typically do is they create an ad. Let's give it a second and pull it up. And this is very generic. And I already mentioned, like, this might not even look like your area. It doesn't even speak about any particular town, But agents go and run ads and they don't really get many leads at all when they do this. And that's because this doesn't actually speak to your market and you're not targeting even a market. And so you don't know what you're getting. And so this often does not work when you do this. But this one here, because that's a picture of the mall in downtown Walnut Creek, people in Walnut Creek know this, right? They get it. And so now it's speaking to me, right? But I want to show you something that you need to think of, and this is especially important if you are in a dense part of the country. And let me show you what I'm here. You see that 15-mile radius, like Walnut Creek in a 15-mile radius. That's the minimum. That's as tight as I can get it. Okay. Show you something. You see that mountain in the background? That's Mount Diablo. And a 15-mile radius around Walnut Creek. Well, this is like the East Bay of San Francisco, right? So in California is like there's 1 million people in that 15 mile, at least 1 million people, right? Probably a lot more. But Walnut Creek, that's only 33,000 people. Okay. So I'm trying to target these people, but Facebook only allows me to target all of these people, right? This is close to it, right? It may not reach San Francisco, but it definitely is going to reach all these people, and they don't live in Hawaii. That can become very problematic. Okay. So how can we fix that? Well, let's go over to ads and let's talk about the way to fix that. And I'm going to open up a third-party company and talk a little bit about them. So, I talked about expireds, and I said that's a top way of getting more listings. And this company here, actually, they have an agreement with us to give you 6 months of back data on expireds. This is really important. And when you're on an expired call, you're going to know what I'm talking about. But that would cost like $70 a month, right? 30-day free trial. But this one here, you can say, hey, I want a list of everybody that's owned a home in Walnut. And now you have a list of just these people, right? So you could take that list and put it in your own CRM. But you could also go over here, and there's a button that says create audience. And you could call it Walnut Creek homeowners. Does have to be a minimum of 1,000 names long. Save it in a CSV, upload it and import it. It has to have those headers exactly and those more. And it will live inside your Facebook account so that the next time you want to run an ad, and let's just in Walnut Creek, but we don't want to target 1 million people. When we're on Facebook, instead of using Walnut Creek and a 15-mile radius, we'll give it a second. I'll show you what I mean. Hopefully we make it easy. So instead of typing in here, which is going to say look, and it may not even be here, there should be a place, and do we move it, to use a custom audience. And unfortunately, we don't have it here. So let me go show you over here what I mean. That's weird. It should definitely be here. So let's just let's do a sold ad, right? Because we're trying to get listings. Let's do a sold ad, and you don't want to target the whole. It's okay to do a 15-mile radius when you are marketing a home that's for sale. But when you're targeting a town or a neighborhood or something like that, again, if you're surrounded by other towns, you definitely don't want a 15-mile radius. So here I want to talk about my sold home. And in this home, it's in Auburn, Indiana. So when we see the Facebook ad, it's going to say Auburn, Indiana, right there, right? So I actually don't want to use that. Okay, I want to take that out, and I want to hit this box that says retarget custom audience. And if I had a list called Walnut Creek homeowners, that would pop up right in that box if I typed in Walnut Creek. And that would tell Facebook, only show this ad to those homeowners if they're on Facebook during this period. And you don't have to use My Plus leads. However, if you're going to work on our expired marketing program, you don't have your own data source from, I don't know, Remine or wherever, you should look into this. If you're thinking about working expireds, send me an email at vince@listingstoleads.com, and I will send you this, as well as the 3 videos of the 3 agents I was talking about earlier, and also a link to order. Oh, well, you can't see it anymore. To order my expired marketing pamphlet, right? So I have that all in one email. Here's my email one more time. And I think that's going to kind of be that's going to be it for my call. So here, vince@listingstoleads.com. And if you want the expired email, definitely, send me an email, because it has everything about expireds in one email. I have another one that has all the tools that you need for open house marketing. And I have another email on how to create a custom listing presentation. Okay. Now, what I'm sending you now, we'd appreciate it. How do we order the brochures? Denise, email me at vince@listingstoleads and tell me, just say expired, because I'm going to send you in that email. I just mentioned that's going to have the link to order the brochures. Okay. So I just sent you this too. It's a Google Doc. We'd really appreciate your feedback on just, how helpful was this? Are you getting what you need? We want to make sure that, we appreciate you hanging out with us for an hour to learn our platform. But we want to make sure we're delivering what you're looking for. So please take a moment and fill out that. I just sent it to everybody on the call. But yeah, I have an email on open house marketing. I have an email on expired marketing. I have another one on how to create a custom listing presentation, and another one on how to create a Facebook ad. So just send me an email and say, Vince, can I have your emails? And that way you don't have to be poking around and waiting for our classes or whatever. Like, a lot of stuff is in that to help agents just get up and running super fast. Okay. Are there any questions on any topic? Because we're almost going to hit the top of the hour, and I want to make sure I'm answering, what you need as well. I'll give you kind of pro tip while you're here. Okay. So I talked about sold ads, and that's an easy way of getting seller leads. And I think you should try this one out. Sold costs $7, and PDF guide, those are $10. And if you do a home valuation landing page, those leads cost like $15 each. And that's part of the way that Facebook sets the price per lead is like on an auction base. And are there other agents competing against you is really how to think of it. And in some of your markets, there's a lot of agents competing against you, right? But not many agents market homes that are pending or under contract. And because of that, I have a home that's pending here. When I run an ad, I'm not competing on many agents, right? So I click Facebook and Instagram, and when I do this, the budget can be $50, right? That's normal, right? Just that's what it is. But the lead cost, we have seen clients come in and say, hey, when we run ads for listing leads and get leads with name, email, and phone number, and more leads can cost as low as $3 and $4 each. Okay. So instead of paying $12 or $15 for a seller lead, you could be getting them for $3 to $4 each with name, email, and phone number. Still people interested in selling their home, right? That's what the message is. So it's worth testing this sort of thing out. I will tell you this though. When a consumer is on Facebook and they see this language, they don't really know what it means because they don't see realtors doing this much. To me, it's obvious, right? This home is pending. It's going to close soon. Affect your home value, right? But you're asking people to actually be scanning on Facebook, on social media, and decipher what that means. And sometimes they don't get it, so you don't see a lot of leads sometimes. But what you do see is the leads that you get are way cheaper than a sold lead. So you might want to test that out. Okay. What other thing? I mean, we talked about creating the custom audience, and that's actually way more important to have a custom audience when you are farming an area, right? Like if I wanted to farm Alamo here or Lafayette or Danville, you want an exact list of those homeowners. That's going to definitely help you out. When you get that list, you run ads in front of them, you upload that list to your CRM, you take any of our emails and you take those and you take our e-flyers and you blast it out there, and then you mail some things to them. Okay. So I don't see any more questions. So I appreciate you hanging out with me here today. You got my email. If you have any questions, you need a team account, you want any of my emails, let me know. And thanks again for being here, and we'll talk soon. And please, if you can, check out that survey. It's pretty quick, just a few questions. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye, everybody.